There comes a moment in life when you stop and ask yourself, is this it? The answer, no. Because deep down, you know you were meant for more peace, more strength, more success, more freedom. But none of that happens until you master one thing, your mindset. This is not just about motivation, this is about transformation. If you're ready to break the limits you've placed on yourself, if you're ready to stop settling and start becoming, then press play and don't look back. This is where the journey begins. The mind is the gatekeeper. Why everything starts within before a single step is taken, before a single change is seen in your world. There is something that comes first. It's not money. It's not the right opportunity. It's not a perfect moment. It's your mind. Your mindset is the gatekeeper of your life. It filters what you allow yourself to see, what you believe is possible, what you reach for, and what you settle for. Most people are walking through life reacting to the world around them, not realizing that the world around them is often just a mirror of the thoughts they've accepted as truth. If your mind is full of limitation, your life will echo it. If your mind is full of doubt, fear, and scarcity, everything you touch will carry that energy. But if your mind is full of possibility, of power, of clarity, then your life begins to expand in ways you never thought possible. This is not a theory. This is not positive thinking dressed up in nice words. This is the foundation of how transformation truly works. You see, nothing changes out there until something changes in here. You can try to force the world to shift. You can chase after more money, better relationships, external validation. But if your mind is still ruled by the same fears, the same stories, the same patterns, you will sabotage the very things you worked so hard to create. Because your subconscious will always bring you back to what you believe you deserve. That's the trap. You may want success, but if your mind is programmed to feel safe in struggle, you'll stay in struggle. You may desire love, but if your inner voice tells you that you're unworthy, you will push it away every time it gets close. You'll call it fate, but it's really your mind playing gatekeeper, closing doors you don't even know exist. The most dangerous limitations are not the ones the world puts on you. It's the ones you place on yourself. Those quiet, invisible thoughts that whisper, "You're not good enough. You'll fail again. It's too late. You're not ready." Thoughts that were never even yours to begin with. They were handed down from parents, teachers, trauma, fear, failure. But just because they've been there a long time doesn't mean they belong. And here's the truth. You can take your power back the same way the mind can imprison you. It can also set you free, but you must become aware. You must become intentional. You must stop letting your mind run on autopilot and start commanding it with purpose. Every thought is a seed, and every day you're planting something. Seeds of doubt, or seeds of faith, seeds of weakness, or seeds of strength. The mind doesn't care what you plant, it will grow, whatever you feed it. So ask yourself, what have you been feeding your mind? What stories do you keep repeating? What environments do you expose yourself to? Who do you listen to? What do you allow to live rent-free in your mental space? Because what lives in your mind will soon live in your life. Greatness doesn't begin with hustle, it begins with awareness. If you want to change your life, you must begin by becoming the master of your inner world. That means watching your thoughts, catching the ones that weaken you, and replacing them with ones that build you. That means stopping the cycle of negative self-talk and choosing to speak to yourself with the same respect you give others. That means choosing clarity over chaos, peace over panic, growth over guilt. You must train your mind the same way an athlete trains their body daily, deliberately, with intention, because when you master your mindset, you shift your energy, and when you shift your energy, the world starts responding differently to you, not because the world changed, but because you did. Mastering your mindset isn't a one-time event. It's a lifelong practice. But once you begin, something incredible happens. You start to realize that you were never truly stuck. You were just imprisoned by thoughts you didn't know you had the power to change. And the moment that awareness sets in, the moment you take control of the gate, you realize the door was never locked. It was waiting for you to wake up. Breaking the chains. Identifying the lies you've been told there is a silent weight. Many people carry their entire lives a heavy burden they never chose, but still drag behind them through every chapter, every relationship, every goal. That weight is made up of lies, quiet, convincing, persistent lies that were told to you so many times, in so many ways, that eventually you started to believe them. Maybe no one ever said them out loud. Maybe they were just implied. Or maybe they were shouted in anger, in judgment, or in ignorance. But either way, they became part of your internal script. You're not smart enough. You don't matter. You'll never make it. You're too much. You're not enough. And here's the most painful part. These lies didn't come from evil people. Most of them came from broken people. People who were projecting their own fear, their own limitations, their own wounds. Parents who never healed. Teachers who gave up on themselves. Friends who didn't know any better. Systems that weren't built for you. Society that only valued conformity. None of them were telling the truth. They were repeating their own chains. And if you're not careful, you start wearing those chains like they're yours. You carry them so long, you forget they were never part of you to begin with. This is where awareness becomes your weapon, because until you identify the lies, you can't challenge them. And if you don't challenge them, you'll continue to live inside someone else's story. A story that was never written with your greatness in mind. So ask yourself, what beliefs have you accepted that are not rooted in truth, but in fear? Whose voice plays in your head when you hesitate, when you second-guess yourself, when you play small? Trace it back, uncover it, because until you expose it, it controls you. You see, belief systems are not always chosen. Most of them are absorbed. You didn't wake up one day and decide to doubt yourself. You were trained to. Little moments, layered over time. The raised eyebrows when you spoke up. The rejection when you showed your real self. The punishment when you took a risk. All of it sent one message. Don't try. Don't speak. Don't be bold. It's safer to shrink. But safety is not the same as freedom. And living small is not the same as living in peace. It's time to start pulling those beliefs out by the root. It's time to question the voice that tells you you can't and ask, says who? Who said you weren't capable? Who said your dream was too big? Who told you that your past defined your future? And more importantly, why are you still believing them? Just because it was said to you doesn't mean it's true for you. Just because you heard it over and over doesn't mean you have to carry it any longer. You were not born doubting yourself. You were not born insecure, afraid, or ashamed. You learned that, which means you can unlearn it. And replacing those lies starts with truth. The truth that you are more powerful than you've ever been told. That you have value no one can take from you. That your voice, your vision, your presence matters. That you are allowed to take up space. That your past was preparation, not punishment. And that healing isn't just possible, it's your birthright. But healing requires confrontation. You must face the scripts running your life and ask, does this serve me? Does this empower me? Is this who I truly am or who I was told to be? Because you can't rise if you're still anchored to lies. And the most dangerous thing you'll ever do is let someone else's fear become your truth. So today, begin the process of reclaiming your mind. Not with rage, but with clarity. Not with blame, but with responsibility. These lies were planted in your past, but you are living in the present. And in this moment, you have a choice to accept them or a choice to break free from them. Not slowly, not eventually, but now. Because the life you deserve doesn't begin when the world changes, it begins when you do. The power of belief. How to rewire your internal world there is a force inside you that shapes every outcome of your life. Whether you're aware of it or not, it determines how high you aim, how much you try, and how far you go. That force is belief. Not the kind that's nice to talk about in theory, not blind hope or wishful thinking, but real, grounded, unwavering belief in who you are and what's possible for you. It is one of the most powerful forces in the human experience, and yet, most people never learn how to control it. They wait for belief to show up after they've succeeded. They think they have to see it to believe it. But the truth is you have to believe it before you'll ever see it. Every breakthrough, every moment of courage, every leap forward in life starts with a single, quiet thought. I think I can. That small internal spark ignites something that the world may not see at first, but it moves mountains inside of you. Belief is what gives you permission to begin. It's the voice that whispers, there's more for you, even when your circumstances suggest otherwise. But here's what most people miss. Belief is not something you're born with. It's something you build, and just like any structure, it's built brick by brick through repetition, through focus, through consistency. What you tell yourself every day becomes the blueprint of your reality. If you repeat something long enough, your brain wires itself to accept it as truth, even if it was never true to begin with. So if you want to change your life, you must first change what you believe about yourself. You must become the architect of your inner world, not the victim of old programming. Start paying attention to the language you use, not just out loud, but especially in silence. Do you speak to yourself like someone you respect? Or are you tearing yourself down before the world even gets the chance? Because the world will treat you how you treat yourself. And if you don't believe in your own worth, your own power, your own potential, you'll constantly chase things outside yourself to feel whole. But wholeness doesn't come from the outside. It comes from within when belief meets intention. Rewiring your internal world is not a one-time shift. It's a daily practice. It begins by identifying the false beliefs that have been running your life. Those deeply embedded ideas like "I'll never be enough," or "I always mess things up," or "success is for other people, not me." These aren't facts. They're stories. Stories that might have been passed down to you. Stories born from pain. But the beautiful thing about stories, you can rewrite them. You can choose to replace the belief that you're a failure with the truth that you're learning and growing. You can replace the belief that you're broken with the truth that you've survived things most people couldn't handle and you're still standing. That's not weakness. That's strength. To rewire your belief system, you must surround yourself with new evidence, read new things, listen to new voices, take new actions, affirm your worth not just when you feel strong, but especially when you feel weak. Because belief is a muscle, and muscles only grow when they're tested. Each time you challenge an old story, each time you act in alignment with a new truth, you are literally reshaping your mind, rewiring your brain, recreating your reality. The mind adapts to what it's exposed to consistently, and if you commit to feeding it with truth, with power, with purpose, it will begin to shift. Slowly at first, then suddenly. That's how belief works. And understand this. You don't need to have it all figured out to believe in yourself. You just need to believe that you're capable of figuring it out. That's the foundation. You don't need the perfect plan. You need the belief that no matter what comes, you'll rise, that you'll learn, that you'll adapt, that you'll become the kind of person who can handle the success you're reaching for. Because ultimately, belief isn't about what you have, it's about who you decide to be. Discipline over motivation. The myth of feeling ready. We live in a world obsessed with feeling ready. You hear it all the time. I'll start when I feel more confident. I'll move when the timing is better. I'm waiting for motivation to hit me. But let me tell you something most people never want to hear. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes like the weather. Some days it shows up like a burst of sunlight, pushing you forward with clarity and energy. But most days, it's nowhere to be found. And if your progress depends on motivation, your life will be built on inconsistency. Because greatness does not belong to the most inspired, it belongs to the most disciplined. Discipline is the thing you build when motivation is nowhere to be found. It's the promise you keep to yourself even on the days when your feelings scream, "Not today." It's showing up when it's inconvenient, when you're tired, when no one's watching, when the finish line feels far away. Discipline is about moving forward even when your emotions don't want to cooperate. And that's the difference between those who make progress and those who stay stuck. One group waits to feel ready. The other group moves anyway. Here's the truth. You may never feel ready. And that's okay, because readiness is a myth. It's a lie sold to you by fear disguised as logic. You think you're being smart, strategic, cautious, but often you're just stalling. Waiting for the perfect moment is a trap. The perfect moment doesn't exist. Life will never lay itself out in a straight line with a sign that says, "Now is your time." You have to claim your time. You have to move while you're uncertain. You have to act even when your hands are shaking. Because clarity doesn't come before action, it comes through action. And this is where discipline becomes your superpower. While everyone else is distracted, tired, second-guessing, overwhelmed, or scrolling through another excuse, discipline is what brings you back to the mission. It reminds you of what you said you wanted long after the feeling has faded. It is the bridge between where you are and where you're meant to be. And the best part, it's not about talent. It's not about luck. It's not about having more time or better circumstances. Discipline is about choice. Every single day, you get to choose. Will I move toward my goal? Or will I give in to temporary comfort? Understand this. Comfort is the enemy of growth. It convinces you to stay the same under the illusion of safety. It tells you that you'll try tomorrow, that you've done enough for now, that nobody's watching anyway. But comfort is a lie, because while you're sitting still, life is still moving. And the dreams you keep putting off, they're not waiting forever. You don't get to outrun time. What you do get to do is use it wisely to align your actions with your purpose, not when you feel perfect, but especially when you don't. It's not easy. Discipline never is. It's waking up early when your bed feels like heaven. It's saying no to distractions when your mind craves escape. It's putting in the work when the results haven't shown up yet. But every time you choose discipline over excuses, you're not just getting closer to your goals, you're becoming someone different. You're becoming someone trustworthy, someone powerful, someone who doesn't rely on the emotional highs of life to keep going. You become your own momentum. That is strength. That is maturity. That is freedom. And the truth is, every great life is built on that kind of consistency. Not the grand, flashy moments, but the small, invisible decisions you make each day. The choice to show up, to write the page, to hit the gym, to speak the truth, to do the hard thing. Not because it feels good, but because you said you would. That's discipline. And discipline, over time, creates results that motivation could never touch. Reclaim your standards. You get what you tolerate. Tether is a hard truth that many people spend their entire lives avoiding. But the sooner you face it, the more power you reclaim over your life. That truth is this: you don't get what you want, you get what you tolerate. You can want success, love, peace, freedom, or abundance more than anything in the world. You can write it down, speak affirmations over it, visualize it every morning. But if your standards for how you allow yourself to live, think, act, and be treated are low, life will match that level, not your desires, but your decisions. You cannot wish your way into the life you deserve. You must rise to meet it. Look around your life right now, the quality of your relationships, your health, your career, your emotional peace. Every area reflects your standards, not your potential, not your intention, but what you've been willing to accept. And here's where it hits hard. Many of us have been tolerating far too much. We tolerate people who drain us because we're afraid to be alone, We tolerate jobs that suffocate us because we've convinced ourselves stability is more important than joy. We tolerate our own excuses, our own procrastination, our own cycles of self-sabotage because deep down, we've made it normal. But just because something is normal doesn't mean it's acceptable. Your standards are the invisible blueprint for your life. They are not what you say out loud when you're inspired. They are the rules you enforce. When it's inconvenient, when it's uncomfortable, when it would be easier to let things slide. If you say you value your peace, but you keep allowing chaos into your space, that's not a standard, it's a preference. If you say you want to be respected, but you stay silent when you're disrespected, your true standard is silence, not self-worth. Standards aren't proven in moments of comfort. They are revealed in moments of decision. And if you don't raise your standards, the world won't raise them for you. Life will keep giving you the same lesson until you say, enough. The same toxic patterns, the same missed opportunities, the same unfulfilling routines. Not because you're cursed or unlucky, but because your standard allows it. That's the shift. That's where true change begins. When you stop negotiating with your worth. When you stop making room for what drains you. When you stop waiting for life to upgrade itself and start demanding more from yourself and everything around you. Raising your standards doesn't mean becoming perfect. It means becoming honest. It means asking yourself what kind of life you truly want and then refusing to live beneath that. It means choosing actions, environments, and relationships that reflect the level you're reaching for, not the level you're trying to escape. It means drawing the line, not out of arrogance, not from a place of ego, but because you've finally remembered who you are. And when you remember who you are, what you allow shifts, what you settle for shifts, and suddenly everything around you begins to adjust. But raising your standards also comes with a price. It means letting go of people who were only comfortable with the version of you that tolerated less. It means outgrowing environments that once felt like home, but no longer align with your future. It means saying no more often, walking away more often, believing in yourself so deeply that you're willing to feel the discomfort of change, rather than the misery of staying small. It won't always feel good, but it will always be worth it, because the moment you raise your standard is the moment you send a signal to yourself, to others, to the universe that you are no longer available for less, that you are no longer willing to participate in anything that contradicts your growth, your peace, or your purpose, that you have remembered your value and you're building a life that reflects it every single day. Vision and identity. Who do you choose to become? There comes a point in life where the question is no longer, what do you want to do? But who do you want to become? Because all lasting transformation begins at the level of identity, not just what you achieve, but who you believe yourself to be when no one is looking. You can chase goals, you can build habits, you can even experience short bursts of success. But if your identity is still rooted in who you were, not in who you're becoming, you will always return to the old version of you. That's why people relapse into patterns they swore they'd break, not because they lack willpower, but because deep down, they still identify with the past. Identity is the foundation of everything. It's not just how you see yourself, it's what you expect from yourself. It's the automatic answer to the question, what kind of person am I? Am I the kind of person who gives up, or the kind who grows through discomfort? Am I the kind of person who plays it safe, or the kind who takes ownership of their future? Am I the kind of person who settles, or the kind who builds something meaningful with their life? Whatever you believe about who you are, you will live up to. Not because it's true, but because it's familiar. This is where vision becomes more than a dream. It becomes your compass, because in order to reshape your identity, you must first see something bigger, something clearer, something more powerful than the version of you that keeps settling. You need a vision that pulls you forward, not just one that excites you when you're inspired, but one that guides you when you're tired, discouraged, or afraid. Your vision isn't just about what you want to have, it's about what kind of person you must become to have it. What does that version of you think like, speak like, move like? How does that version handle failure, conflict, fear? The answers to those questions are not distant, they are available now, in every decision you make. Most people never become what they're capable of, not because they lack talent, but because they never upgrade their identity. They try to create a new life using the same old patterns, the same old beliefs, the same comfort zones. But the future is not built by who you've been, it's built by who you choose to become. And choosing that person means leaving behind anything that doesn't match. That means rewriting the internal script. That means not just saying, I want to be confident, but declaring, I am someone who speaks with conviction, who walks with purpose, who honors their voice even when it shakes. That means not just wanting success, but becoming the kind of person who takes full responsibility for their outcomes. And this choice must be made every single day, because the world will constantly try to pull you back into the version of you that feels small, familiar, safe. People may not understand your growth. Your environment may challenge your new identity. Your mind will try to protect you by clinging to the old version of you. Because even if it was painful, it was predictable. But you're not here for predictable. You're here for powerful, for meaningful, for legacy. And that means you must get crystal clear on the vision of the life you want to live. And the identity that life requires. Identity is not fixed. You are not who you were. You are who you decide to be now. Every time you show up with intention, every time you act in alignment with your future self instead of your past self, you are becoming. You are stepping into a new frequency, a new level, a new life, not by waiting, but by deciding. The question isn't whether you can become that version of you. The real question is, will you? Resilience and rebirth. The fire will shape you, not break you. Other is a truth many people run from their entire lives. But the ones who rise, the ones who truly evolve, learn to face it head on. Pain is not your enemy. It's your teacher. It's your purifier. It's the fire that doesn't just burn, it refines. And if you are in the fire right now, if you are walking through seasons of struggle, heartbreak, loss, disappointment, or uncertainty, let me tell you this with everything I have in me. You are not being destroyed, you are being reshaped. The Fire that's trying to break you is also trying to build something deeper within you, something stronger, something more aligned with the person you are meant to become. Everyone wants growth until they realize that growth requires pain. Everyone wants transformation until they see that transformation is often birthed through pressure, through chaos, through shedding layers of the person they used to be. Resilience is not about pretending everything is okay. It's not about hiding your scars or forcing positivity when you're breaking inside. Resilience is about staying the course even when it hurts. It's about standing in the middle of the storm with your knees shaking and your heart heavy and saying, I will not quit. I don't know how yet. I don't know when yet, but I will get through this. I will become something greater because of it. There is something sacred about pain. It exposes you. It shows you what's real and what's shallow. It reveals who's truly with you and what you truly believe. And most of all, it gives you two choices: collapse or rise. And hear me, rising doesn't mean you won't fall down. It doesn't mean you won't cry, question, or feel lost. Rising simply means you get up again. That's what resilience is. Not perfection, not endless strength, but relentless return, returning to your purpose, returning to your truth, returning to your power again and again, no matter how many times life knocks the wind out of you. You may not realize it now, but the pain you're walking through is preparing you in ways comfort never could. It's making you more compassionate, more aware, more refined. It's stripping away the parts of you that were never real, your people-pleasing, your false confidence, your shallow attachments, your need for external validation. It's revealing the deeper layers of you that were buried under distraction, fear, and comfort. Pain awakens us. It forces us to slow down and look at what's no longer sustainable. What's been tolerated for too long? What needs to be let go of so something new can be born? Rebirth doesn't happen in the light. It happens in the dark. It happens in the silence, in the in-between. In the nights you cry alone, and the mornings you rise anyway. It's a process, a stripping away, a reconstruction of everything you thought you needed to survive. And while it may feel like you're losing everything, the truth is you are finally being given the chance to build from truth, not fear, from purpose, not pressure, from alignment, not approval. You are being asked to let go, not to be punished, but to be prepared. You won't be the same after the fire, and that's the point. The version of you that emerges will carry a power, a depth, a clarity that cannot be faked or borrowed. You will move differently, speak differently, think differently. Because you didn't read about resilience, you lived it. You bled for it. You earned it. And that kind of strength, that's unshakable. That's the kind of strength that makes you unbreakable, not because you never fall, but because you always rise with something more than you had before. Not less, more. Claiming what you deserve. It's time to walk in your power. There is a moment, a turning point, when you realize that the life you've been chasing, the success you've been dreaming of, the peace you've been longing for, is not something you have to beg for or earn permission to have. It is something you are inherently entitled to, simply because you exist. Claiming what you deserve is not about entitlement in the selfish sense. It's about reclaiming your birthright, the right to live fully, boldly, and unapologetically. It's about walking into your power with the fierce understanding that your worth is not negotiable and your dreams are not optional. For far too long, many people have lived beneath their worth. They've accepted scraps of happiness, tolerance instead of respect, delay instead of action, silence instead of their voice. They've doubted themselves because the world told them they weren't enough. They've stood in the shadows of others' expectations, waiting for a sign, a blessing, a chance. But here's the raw truth. Nobody will give you your power. You must claim it for yourself. And claiming your power means no longer shrinking to fit in, no longer apologizing for your ambition, no longer waiting for the right moment that may never come. It means stepping fully into the truth that your dreams matter as much as anyone else's. Your voice deserves to be heard, and your life is worthy of greatness. Walking in your power requires more than just belief. It demands action, consistency, and courage. It means setting boundaries that protect your energy and values. It means saying no to anything that diminishes your light, your joy, your momentum. It means making decisions that align with your highest vision for yourself, even when they're hard or uncomfortable. Because power is not passive, it is a fierce, active force that moves through you and shapes the world around you. When you walk in your power, you are no longer asking for permission, you are giving yourself permission to thrive, to grow, to create, and to lead. But claiming what you deserve also means healing old wounds that tell you otherwise. It means recognizing and releasing the stories of unworthiness, fear, and limitation that have held you hostage. These stories are like chains, heavy, invisible, and suffocating. They whisper that you must settle, that you must be less, that you are not enough. Breaking those chains requires self-compassion and relentless determination. It requires looking in the mirror and telling yourself, I am worthy, I am enough, I deserve this life, over and over again, until those words are no longer just words, but a deep-rooted truth that courses through your veins. Walking in your power also means embracing your voice and your story, your experiences, the struggles, the victories. The lessons are not obstacles but fuel. They are what make you uniquely qualified to step into your purpose. When you claim your power, you stop hiding, you stop doubting, you start leading with authenticity and courage. You become magnetic to opportunities, to people, to experiences that match your energy and vision. Because power attracts power, confidence invites confidence. When you own your worth, the world cannot help but respond in kind. And here's the most important thing. Walking in your power is not a solo journey. It is a ripple effect. When you step fully into yourself, you inspire others to do the same. You become a beacon of possibility, a living example that greatness is accessible. Your courage creates space for others to reclaim their own power. You show that it's possible to rise above fear, doubt, and limitation and claim the life that is rightfully yours. The time is now. No more waiting, no more shrinking, no more doubting your place in this world. Claiming what you deserve is a radical act of love, not just for yourself, but for the people who need to see what's possible. It's a declaration that your life matters, your dreams matter, your power matters. When you walk in your power, you step into the life you were always meant to live. The power of action. Dreams are built one step at a time. It's easy to get lost in the grandeur of dreams. We imagine the finish line, the trophy, the applause. We envision the life we want in vivid detail: financial freedom, loving relationships, personal fulfillment. But what too many people forget is that dreams don't come true by wishing. They come true through action. Action that is often slow, imperfect, and invisible. The kind of action that happens when no one is watching, when motivation is low, when the world is telling you to give up. Dreams are built not in a moment of inspiration, but in the quiet, persistent footsteps you take every day. Action is the bridge between desire and reality. It's the language that your dreams speak in. Without action, your vision remains a fantasy, beautiful, but out of reach. The difference between those who achieve and those who merely hope is not talent or luck. It's the courage to keep moving forward, to keep doing the work, even when the results aren't immediate, even when the path is unclear, even when your heart is heavy, because each step you take matters. Each step carries you closer to the life you deserve. Imagine a sculptor carving a masterpiece out of stone. They don't create the final form with a single strike. They chip away bit by bit, patiently, relentlessly. Sometimes the chisel slips. Sometimes the stone cracks unexpectedly. But the sculptor doesn't stop. The beauty is revealed through the process, the consistent, deliberate act of shaping what was once raw and unformed. Your dreams require the same kind of patient crafting, one step at a time. You are shaping your future. The power of action lies not only in the doing, but in the becoming. Every small effort you make reinforces the belief that you can. Every challenge you overcome adds to your resilience. Every time you push through fear, doubt, or fatigue, you prove to yourself that you are capable. Action transforms identity. It turns I want into I am. It turns dreams into reality by changing who you are moment by moment. But here's the challenge. Action is not always glamorous. It's often boring. It's repetitive. It's a grind. It's waking up early, showing up on the days you don't feel like it, doing the work nobody else sees. This is the invisible labor of success, the countless decisions to move forward even when the soul whispers, stop. This is why so many people quit, not because they lack desire, but because they underestimate the power of persistence. They expect progress to be instant, effortless, or visible. But the truth is, meaningful change is forged in the unseen. It's also important to understand that action is not about perfection, waiting for the perfect plan, the perfect timing, or the perfect mood is a trap that delays your progress. Action demands courage to be imperfect, courage to stumble, courage to learn and adjust along the way. It's about moving forward, not flawlessly, but faithfully. Every step forward, no matter how small or imperfect, is a victory against inertia and fear. And here's the gift of action. It creates momentum. Momentum is the force that makes the next step easier, the next decision clearer, the next challenge more manageable. Once you begin to move, you become unstoppable. The energy you generate propels you beyond your initial doubts and limitations. Momentum is the secret ingredient in mastering your mindset because When you act, you change your story. You become the author of your life instead of a passive reader. Remember this: your dreams don't belong to some distant future. They belong to you right now. They are waiting for your hands, your heart, your willingness to take the next step. No step is too small. No effort is wasted. Each moment you choose to act, you are weaving a new reality, one built on courage, consistency, and unshakable belief in your worth. As we come to the close of this journey together, remember this: mastering your mindset is not a destination, it is a lifelong commitment. It is the foundation upon which every dream, every goal, every victory is built. You have heard the truth that your mindset shapes your reality, that you must take ownership of your thoughts, your standards, your identity, and your actions. Now, the power is in your hands. You deserve a life filled with purpose, joy, and abundance. You deserve to walk boldly in your power, unapologetically claiming what is rightfully yours. The struggles you face, the fire you endure, the doubts you conquer, they are not roadblocks, but stepping stones leading you to a stronger, wiser, more unstoppable you. Your mind is the battleground where your future is won or lost. Feed it with belief, nourish it with vision, armor it with resilience, and fuel it with consistent action. Every moment is an opportunity to choose growth over comfort, courage over fear, and freedom over limitation. You were never meant to settle for less than you deserve. So stand tall. Speak your truth. Take the next step, no matter how uncertain it feels, because within you lies an unbreakable spirit, a limitless well of potential, and the undeniable right to live a life that sets your soul on fire. Master your mindset and watch how the world begins to bend in your favor. Your time is now.